Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. Hey, you've seen those woodworking videos where the woodworkers have, their crazy skill level, like it's super high. And they build these amazing pieces of furniture or whatever the project is they're working on. And there's some amazing joints where there's no gaps, everything's square. It's some complicated triple double blind locking dovetail rabbet thing. And it doesn't look like they need any glue. It just all fits together all perfect. Like those guys are amazing, right? This is not that video. This is the video before that video, probably 100 times before that video. This is a video of me, the guy who can't do any of that fancy stuff anyway, practicing woodworking. So tied up in this chainsaw box right here, I have box joints, biscuit joints, locking rabbet joints, a long 45-degree picture frame joint with a bunch of splines on it made in a table saw. I also made this cool handle on the router table out of a runner from a pallet. It turns out it was red oak, so that worked out great. I did some kind of fancy stain and paint action here. I've never done any of this before, so I put all these techniques into this box. Let's go see how we did it. All right, here I am measuring and thinking and writing notes. This is my best example of a plan right here. Here's the lumber I'm going to start with. And then here you got your typical YouTube video milling of some boards. I'm going to make them into panels. So we're going to do a little video editing magic and make a milling montage because you've probably seen this 1,000 times already on YouTube. I'm going to take some wood. I'm going to cut it down to a rough size. I'm going to glue it up into panels. I'm going to go and square it up. I'm going to put a straight edge, all that kind of business. So then presto changeo, I got some panels to work with to make this box. All right, so we got these 4 panels. They're about 40 by 13 and a half. That's bigger than it's going to need to be, but my plan is have it oversized and real rough and cut it down to the size that we're going to need, with the understanding I'm probably going to screw up some of the corners. At least I have a little extra material to kind of cut it off and try again. So let's get to it. All right, so real quick here, I'm going to take one of these panels and cut it down into the both ends I need for the box. That little Ryobi saw did not like cutting that 45-degree angle. I don't know what that's about. All right, guys. So here's the first cut on one corner of this box. It's not terrible. It's not great or super precisioned, but we did know that this board's bowed a little bit, so we can bend it back in or finagle it a little bit. And we'll probably be able to get this corner to stick just right with some sanding and glue and duct tape and splines. So not bad. We're going to move on from here. See if we can figure out box joints. And then here I'm cutting the box joints on a table saw, and I use the original lines from the boards as kind of the guide for the box joint. I use the first finish end to make the template for the other side of the box joint, where it marries up. All right, you see that right there? That's where the box joint fits in. And it looks like whatever that part of the box, the tongue part or whatever, isn't long enough. So I think that means we cut this part back a little bit. Okay, so it's my first time doing box joints ever. I think the gaps here, here, and here are the appropriate amount of gaps in a first-time box joiner. And the fact that none of my boxes are perfectly square or straight or even fit tight proves that I'm a first-time box joiner. So I think we're going to call it good. This little bit of fourth grade drawing right here is me trying to figure out and visualize what a locking rabbet joint is supposed to look like. All right, let's use this router bit to cut that rabbet the length of the board. And then we'll work from there. Okay. That worked. Let's make it a little deeper. Have another go. All right, check this out. This right here is the rabbet I cut with the router bit. I think I kind of already overcut it, but that's all right. This is going to be the tongue that's going to sit in here. So I need to cut away that part so that this piece slides into that rabbet. So I'm actually going to do a very low, shallow pass right here just so I can get this part fitted into the rabbet. And then I'll adjust from there to get this board to fit tight against there. And the added trick is the way I have it set up here, this board is already flush with this board. So hopefully when I cut this piece out and this board slides into place, it'll still be flush. All right, let's do that. I tried to cut the second part with the router, but that sucked. So I went ahead and cut the whole thing off, and I redid this part of the locking rabbet joint on the table saw. It worked out a lot better. All right, so look here, see this gap? Obviously that gap's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to run up to the board here. But honestly, I think that's an easy fix because I should just be able to trim the tongue here and it'll fit closer to the board. Right? Let's try it. All right, guys, I got my 90 degree clamp right here. That one's holding pretty tight. This board right here is bowed out a little bit, but you can see I clamp it down. It lines up pretty good. That whole gap's gone. And then let's be 100%. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little gap right there. There's a little gap. But you know what? I think these rabbet joints, these kind of lock and rabbet joints, I think those are pretty okay and pretty easy. And I think it would have been easier on a table saw from the get-go. But I like it. Good stuff, guys. Good work, team. Okay, guys. While you're gone, I went ahead and cut this side to length and I cut this end to length, creating this last joint that we're going to work on. And this last joint is going to be a biscuit. We're going to use biscuit joints to put it together. I've never used biscuits. I've never used a biscuit joiner. Never once. Here is a biscuit joiner that I've had. It is, as far as I know, brand new. It was gifted to me by my dad. He was like, "Hey, you want a biscuit joiner?" I was like, "Sure," because you can't tell your dad you don't know how to use a tool, right? So I took it out of the box. I dusted it off. I plugged it in, pulled the trigger to make sure it works, and it worked, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I started messing around. And just for a note, no, I didn't watch a YouTube video. I stood right here, figured this out. No directions, you know. So here's the deal. We're going to make this joint happen right here. And I'm going to kind of disassemble all this, mark it, and poke a bunch of holes in it. I mean, it's practice anyway, right? All right, let's check it out real time. It's together. I took that middle one out that the blade didn't retract and kind of caught it weird. So it's together, but I don't know why I'm off like that. All right, so I don't know if you can see that, but this is the top hole that's just fine. This hole over here seems to be a little taller, which would make this angle part stick out like it does. I don't know what happened there. Maybe because it's warped? I'm gonna cut another biscuit hole right here, right underneath it, and see if that fixes it. I mean, why not? It's practice, right? So look, down here it's almost flush, up here it's almost flush. This board is cupped this way, so there is a lip here, but that lines up a whole lot better. So, all right, listen, time out real quick. I know that that joint's not perfect. Like I told you, it's a little off and all, but I did get some biscuit practice in. I had never done that before, so it really doesn't seem like it's that big a deal. Maybe something a little bit of practice I could dial in real nice. And second, the thing that we learned, you can make the biscuit groove, I don't know what it's called, a little bit bigger and make it kind of a loose joint, like a loose biscuit joint, and line it up and it fits nice and tight. Like it clamps together pretty good. So of all the new things I've done so far, that one seems to be pretty okay. So let's keep going. All right, we're about to figure out how to put splines in this 45-degree angle right here. And I think we're going to do it with the table saw. Why not, right? All right, so here's my idea. I think if I can adjust this blade to cut just that line on the entrance and the exit and put a stop on the fence. So I just run the box in there, cut it, move the fence, cut it, move the fence, cut it. That should be right, right? So here's the top of the blade. It's going to hit right there and cut and finish cutting right there. It should just cut a kerf line. Look at that. Ignore the gap. Well, look at that. All right, let's do the rest. Here I'm using a roundover bit on my router table to create an oval shaped handle out of this piece of red oak from a stringer on a pallet. This is pretty cool. I never did this before and it turns out okay. These right here, I made two of these handle brackets. I made a hole so the dowel fits into it, so it can hold the bracket against the toolbox, right? You get it, right? putting the end caps on these dowel pins for the handle brackets that I made. I just used a bigger dowel to create a cap, kind of just super glued it on and was done. Here I got the box. This is, I'm using golden pecan stain. It turns out to be kind of too light, but it does make the joints look pretty good. And then, of course, I put colonial maple stain on top of it. It's a little too orange for what I like, but you can still see the joints pretty okay. I removed the tape from the bottom and went ahead and just painted the bottom and the top stripes with black, which is it's exterior flat black. Hey guys, thanks for watching with tonight. I really appreciate it. So I got this chainsaw box all done and a bunch of woodworking techniques wrapped up in there for practice. You saw me go through all of them and kind of struggle and try to figure it out. And I hope this video inspired you to go ahead and try some new stuff on whatever project you're working on, or at least go out there and do some practice. And do me a favor, tell me in the comments down below how you guys practice, like how you get your reps in. Is it just project to project, or do you do 100 reps making box joints or whatever in the shop? I don't know. Let me know. I'm kind of doing it all by myself. You know what I mean? And I know these YouTube videos kind of lend themselves to show the project's all done and it kind of worked out great and everybody's happy and it's perfect and whatever. This is not the case. I always try to point out my mistakes. And in this case, you saw some of the joints weren't great and I had to fix them and had to physically fill them with wood. And there's a lot of glue holding this thing together. I'm going to tell you that right now. But this box right here, it's about 3/4 of an inch different from one side to the other side. So it's not even really square. It's a little trapezoidal shaped. But other than that, guys, tell everybody you know. And let's keep this YouTube channel rolling. Out. Thanks, guys.